Following on from the last interview, this is the second in the series of getting to know the West London dub family. Here we have Roots Youths. Welcome, Roots Youths. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Thank you for having me. My name is Kullar, and I'm from Roots Youths Records, and I'm also the weekly presenter of the Dub Live show on Live FM TV.
Excellent. So Kullar, growing up, where did your musical influences come from?
Well, actually, growing up in my town in Southall, it was very Bhangra music orientated. There was lots of bands, a lot of the top bands in the scene at the time was from Southall, and that was the main music really. And I really got influenced into the dub music through just walking the high streets and side roads, listening to people play music in their cars and stuff. Right. Then one day, me and my friends, we were walking back from school, and his brother was driving in a car past us, and he was playing a similar music. And I said to my friend, I said, like, what is that? He goes, oh, that's one of my brother's tapes.
Right.
So I said, can you give me one of your brother's tapes? So a couple of days later, my friend, he gave me one of his brother's tapes, and I started listening to the music. And so once I got into it, there was a guy a couple of doors down, he was into the same kind of music. So he said to me, I asked him, I said, what's this music? He said to me, oh, it's like reggae music, it's like shaka music. Right. So I said to him, what do you mean? I said, what are these songs called? So at that time he explained to me the tunes that was on the cassette was like Aswad Warrior Charge, you had like Hard Times, Pablo Gad, you had tunes like Voice of the Poor, Fred Locks and stuff like that. Even some other kind of not so rooted tunes like Half Pint, One in a Million, and Under My Sling thing and stuff. It was all kind of variation on that thing. So then I realized the ones I did like were more rootical, but I didn't know it was roots music at the time. I didn't know what the name of the music was. And so later on, by coincidence, someone actually gave me a shaka recording, a cassette. Right. And as soon as I heard that, I said, that's the music.
Oh, wow, I see what you're saying.
Right, so from there on, I started collecting a few shaka cassettes. And then one day, one of my friends said to me, look, shaka's playing in Old Southall, in Chaggers Hall. He took me and him went to shaka. I think it was 87, I think, 86, 87.
I heard that you was that you worked at a record shop or at a distribution outlet at some point.
Yeah, what happened when I started getting into the music, when I started going to shaka and stuff like that, I started realizing all this music I was hearing was actually on records, not on cassettes. In Southall we used to have this guy called Kenny. He used to have a record shop near the taxi shop, and I went there one day. I said to him, I want some shaka music and stuff, and he played me all this kind of music, and it was nothing like what shaka music was. And there was only one tune I bought there that was one day was a bit similar, was Rock Them One by One, Equaton Jarrett. It was a Jammies tune at that time. That was brand new at that time, so I kind of bought that, and I just remember looking at the sleeve. It just said marketed and distributed by Jetstar or something like that. So slowly I got into knowing shops like Dalvenda, Daddy Cool and stuff like that. And everywhere I would go, it would just say Jetstar, Jetstar, Jetstar. So I said, I've got to find out what this Jetstar is. So one day I just phoned up this place, and they said, hi, how can you help? So I was just being cheeky. This was even like, I was like 17. I just said, yeah, I got a phone call earlier on saying that I've got the job here, but my mum said that I got a ring back, and they said, yeah, can you come down at so and so time? So I went there, and they said to me, look, what's your name? They took my name and my details. They said, all right, you're going to start on Monday. And then on that Monday was my 18th birthday, or 1990 that was. And from then, I just continued doing my thing, because when I was at Jetstar, I left there, I wanted to get more into the distribution side of things, like selling records, the right records to the right people, because in reggae there's so many different types of reggae, and people don't realize that. People go and you go to the shop, you might see all the revival kind of stuff, all the lovers rock, or maybe just dub LP. You don't really see like 7 inches or 12 inches, because when you go shaka you hear like a vocal and you will hear a dub. It's not like an LP track, very rarely kind of a thing like that. So, and then as I was doing my thing, I used to go like most dances every week, Thursday, dub club, Friday would be community centre or Shaka playing somewhere. Saturday would be definitely Shaka playing somewhere.
Yeah.
On Sunday you'd have the Archies, the Abashanti. Then maybe midweek, even on a Monday and Tuesday, you'd have Burning Spear in the Royal Albert Hall or something in the Jazz Cap. So I was always on the road all the time. And then one day, Nikki Culture, Shaka's manager, she used to have a weekly place called the Dub Club in Tufnell Park. And she said to me one day, I'd like you to come and play. And I said, yeah, no problem, I'll come and play. Because I was always helping people with their flyers, helping people move their music and just telling people about events and just sharing the knowledge. But there was no internet them days, there was hardly any mobile phones anyway. So word of mouth was really important in them days. And she said to me, what are you going to call this? I didn't have no clue.
So how did the name Roots Youths come about then?
My dad would always say to me, like, I would have flyers of Shaka or Bob Marley in my room, and he'd say to me, you know more about these people than your own religion. And at that time, I was ashamed to admit I did. But I could name what studio engineer was there, which artist recorded there, you know, like them kind of thing. So I thought it was very important for me to actually know my heritage and my culture and my identity, where I'm coming from, because the music I was listening was teaching the people about theirs, not to forget theirs, and about the oppression and the separation. And a lot of that we have in our same religion as well, so it connected with me. But then later on I realized it is a universal message, and that's where the power of reggae is. When people listen to it, the message is strong, and so that's why people connect with it.
That's correct,
yeah. I didn't know nothing about my roots, and I want to make sure my kids, the youths, that they did, because I don't want them just knowing about what I'm doing, what studio I'm going. They know Bongo, they know Jonah, they know Shaka, they know Dougie, they know the whole Kullar. I want them to know about their own identity as well. Where did my dad's dad come from? You know, where do we belong? Yeah. So that's why I call it Roots Youths Records. Not roots because in the reggaeton roots, but roots in actually where you come from.
Yeah.
You should know where you come from before you're going anywhere.
So who was the first like major artist that you did actually work with and produce a record with? Do you know?
That I actually took to the studio, I would say was L16 and Sis 9. I took them to Russ's studio.
Okay, do you remember what year that was?
Sis 9, I think it was 2000 it was done 2006, 7, but we didn't release it till 2008. Same with the L16.
Right. So, how did you get into Life FM, the online show?
Like there was a guy called Pineapple Roots, and he used to run a club called Club Roots Underground.
I remember.
In Finsbury Park every Tuesday. And what he used to do, he used to come to me to buy some records and stuff. He said to me, Kullar, you know, I got my radio show, I got the club tonight, so I need some fresh bits. So he was always come to me to get the fresh hot bits, and I was giving him the stuff. And then he would start saying to me, why don't you come on a Tuesday night at the Finsbury Club, let's try to hustle some of your records, trying to make a change. And then one day he said to me, Kullar, I want you to come on the radio show, bring some tunes with you. And I said, okay, no problem. And because I'd played once on the radio before with Roots High Tech in Acton a few years before, in the 90s, late 90s. So got to the studio and stuff, and he introduced me to Paul Roast, who's the manager alongside Lioness. He played a tune, and he said, yeah, welcome. He started the show off, I remember, not even 5 minutes, and he kind of gave me a nudge, and he said to me, like, get your record ready. And I said, okay, so I got my record ready, and as I put on Aisha, the Creator, the Reba label. And it was just one of them tunes I've just grown up with, you know, Shaka used to sign on with it all the time in Arches or something, test the sound, and it was just a long, nice disco mix, you know, like 9-10 minutes. And as soon as I put it on about a minute into it, he kind of lifted it up himself, he put it back, and he just pulled it. He said to me, he said to the people, the listeners, he said, I just want to tell you guys, this is Kullar Roots. This man's got selection, and he'll be taking over the show from now on. And he just pressed the button, and it started. So he kind of left me to it, Then at the end of the show, I finished and everything. And the guy said to me, "All right, I'll see you next week." Then I said, "What do you mean?" He goes, "The fan up said that you're doing the show from now on."
Right.
And I said, "Oh, wow."
How are you finding the spread of the music into Europe?
Like I said, it's really growing and people are really taking a lot of interest in it. And people are always looking for the online shops for new music. They're always going to sound system. They're always putting up clips of sound system. What's this tune? Can you recognize it? And with these social media platforms, it's easy to get information nowadays.
Right, yeah.
And it's either once you put your link on there or something, it spreads it to everyone and people look. So I keep saying to everyone, I don't know if this is fair or not, I believe myself that Europe and other places, they're about 10, 15 years behind us. Not of music, but of knowledge of music.
Right.
You know, like from what we used to hear in the dance, because some of the things, you do get certain tapes online and stuff, but not all of them. Some of the killer dances, like, you won't hear, like...
They've gone forever.
Yeah, and there's some...
Unless you were there, you would never experience it.
Yeah, and the funny thing is nowadays, sometimes you hear someone will post one of these online tapes or sessions up online.
Yeah.
There'll be a tune that you'd never expect Shaka or ABBA or someone to play, and everyone wants to buy that tune now just because they played it. They've had ample opportunity to buy it.
Have any of your family followed you into the music business?
Not really, but my wife, she always supports me in everything I do. I give thanks, you know, like she knows that I love the music and, you know, like, it'll always be in me, in my blood, in my DNA. And she, you know, I'm thankful for her, she understands.
So Kullar, could you tell me where your next event will be?
Yeah, you can catch me next weekend in Toulouse, Farming Dub 3, but the weekend after, on the 5th of July, you can catch me alongside Nomadics at West London Dub Club Part 2. Spread the word, don't be late.
That is with Blacksunrising Productions and Promotions, yeah?
And Raymond Jr. as well.
Excellent. Thank you very much. Well, Kullar, it's been a pleasure meeting you.
Thank you for having us.
Thanks. Thanks for this interview. And we'll catch you guys up pretty soon.
On the 5th.
On the 5th. Don't forget to check out Blacksunrising Promotions and Productions on the Facebook page. And we'll see you guys soon. Thank you very much.